What's going on, Bills Mafia? I'm your boy TG. This is my boy Nature Boy. Welcome back to Top Billing. But before we get started, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Just so you know, we got another show. So, number one, forgive me, guys, if I don't have my background. It's the second week in a row. Had a little technical difficulties. My allergies acted up today, so I wanted this to lay low. Nature Boy said it looked like I got beat up in the parking lot.
Yeah, it looked like some gang members down here in Atlanta got a hold to him. But I can guarantee you that wasn't the case.
Yeah, man, I was in my daughter's room, rolling around on the floor. And next thing you know, my eyes look like I smoked a pound of weed. I took some Benadryl and now I'm a little drowsy, so I'm just kicking back though. So,
Yeah,
but
you
I ain't
look
gonna
like you
stop us from
ate.
doing the show though.
Yeah, you look like you ate a tomato.
It feel like I ate a tomato. But y'all don't know I'm allergic to fruit. That's why he said that. So yeah. So but anyway, man, we're gonna talk about week 2, man. I think it was a very, very, I would call it a very redeeming week for the Bills.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
and it wasn't the fact that that we stumped out the Raiders. It's the fact that how we did it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It wasn't just explosive play after explosive play. It was more of how Sean McDermott envisioned this offense to be from the beginning. Well, I'm
yep.
not gonna say from the beginning. I'm not gonna say from the beginning, but at least last season and probably the season before when David was here, he wanted to implement this type of offensive scheme or game plan. Going against teams, running the ball, Josh on the center, shorter intermediate routes, being smart with the football, things of that nature.
Right.
And once again, we see what running the football can do with your offense. We can see what the short intermediate game can do for the offense. Putting the ball in the playmaker's hands. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
gotta always make an 80-yard bomb. You just throw a little hitch, throw a little drag, throw a little this, throw a little that, and let these playmakers make plays. You know what I'm saying? So this game
Exactly.
against the Raiders was like, to me, it was a blueprint of how the offense needs to look like going forward. Um, at least from a base standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still feel like the offensive game plan should change week to week. But as far as a base format of how the offense should go, I think this was it, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
this was it was the only thing, to your point, I know we talked about it, was we should have seen a little bit more screens. Um, but other than that, man, it was a very well executed plan. It was planned very well by Dorsey. And it just goes to show, we can that Josh can be a quarterback in the pocket
Yeah.
without being Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll have his Superman moments, but like I say, the key is to be efficient, make the throws. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And like I say, every now and again, if you got to put on your cape, put it on, but stick to the script.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
but what's your take, brother?
Man, it was an awesome performance. From all three three aspects of the game: special teams, defense, offense, uh complementary football. Coach McDermott preaches that. I love what I seen from both lines: offensive line, defensive line. Aggressive football, attacking football on the defensive line. You
Yeah.
know, we love to see our interior defensive linemen get the penetration that they was getting in the run game. Uh, our linebackers stepped up big time. You know, they made plays, they filled the gaps. Lovely. You know, you couldn't ask for anything better, especially compared to what we seen in the first half, especially against the Jets. That first half was terrible. Uh, we checked all the boxes that we needed to check going into week 2 to not really hush up anybody. We didn't really need to hush up anybody, but to prove to ourselves that we're capable of playing this way.
Yeah.
We started out playing this way against the Jets. We were highly efficient then, and like it just seemed like Josh got bored with it. It's like I say, he felt like, you know, like it wasn't enough. Like you say, like he felt like he needed to get, you know, 80 yards every play. You know, like he had to, somebody had to hit the head on the goal post every play. And you know, in the NFL, teams who've been structured that way, even if successful in the regular season, tend to not be able to pull it off in the, you know, in the big game. You can look at Kansas City and say, well, hey, they hit deep balls and things of that nature, but it's within the structure of the offense. It's never forced. It's what's given to them. If you look at Kansas City's offense in our actuality, they're a short to intermediate passing game until the deep ball presents itself, and then they utilize it, you know. So I really feel like 9 receivers getting receptions. That's amazing. Passing the ball to the running backs, letting them make plays. You know, the whole 9. You know, so everybody stepped up. James Cook most definitely did his thing, man. I think he solidified himself in league wide that he can be the man and carry offensive backfield, you know, for NFL franchise. You know, they questioned his stature. I didn't, because I've seen running backs of his size be able to, you know, be successful in this league. But overall, man, I give us an A minus. That first drive, it almost sent it back into a funk because the Raiders marched the ball down the field so easily on us. But it was the scripted, you know, the first scripted plays they had, and after that, they didn't have nothing for us after that. So, yeah, overall, man, we did a hell of a job. Hell of a job.
To your point, man. You know, I do want to give Josh Allen his flowers. I was harsh on him last week. Probably more than any other Bill. Um, you know, I was hard about. Um, so I do want to give the guy his flowers. I think he had over 80% completion percentage, something of that nature. This was the 11th time he was the offensive player of the week, AFC player of the week, I think.
Yep.
You know, so
Ben Kelly's record.
yeah. So I mean, hey man, I want to salute Josh Allen, man, but you know, I meant everything I said though. You know, I'm like, you know, that's just one game to me. We got a whole season.
And a game in which they were supposed to. That's what they were supposed to do
That's
against
what
the defense like that.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I still want my eyes still on them, and
as they should be.
Yeah, so it's not. Oh, it's fixed. He's a different quarterback. No, let's see if he continues to do what the script says to do. Not what we just saw. Right. Let's see if he continues to do what the script tells him to do, so we can execute the offense accordingly. That's what I want to see. It's not. I say it can change week to week. Is he willing to stick to the script? You know what I'm saying? Right. Now, again, he had to ad lib some plays, which is a real strong part of his game. But that's all I want to see from Josh Allen. I want him to make better decisions. We understand we have he has a rocket arm. He don't even have to display that all game. He could just, like I say, when necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's almost like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather can knock people out. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
he chooses to be methodical and box. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And be strategic against his opponents.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see. From Josh Allen, not the knockout blows like Mike Tyson. We want to see you jab. We want to see you. We just want you to be methodical and
Mm-hmm.
and really really play the game with your mind
Yeah. The
and
way
not
it's
just
supposed
your
to be
yeah,
played.
right. So, kudos to Josh Allen. Kudos to everybody that I threw under the bus last week, man. It was Gabe Davis. I threw up under the bus. I think he had 92 yards receiving in the touchdown. Spencer Brown, yeah, but people say he still had a good game, but he still had help. I
Oh
think,
yeah.
Kingsley wasn't a Jonathan. I
Mm-hmm.
think, I think he needs to be his practice mate the entire season because it's not going to be easy for him. Look at our opponent coming up. So I
Oh yeah.
he did a good job with him this past week, but he need another week with him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who
You
else?
can't. It's gonna be hard to. It's gonna be hard to double team anybody on that defensive line that we taking on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. So Spencer Brown, you know, good week. Hopefully, he learned from it. Um, and like I said, Osiris Torrance, can't help him in the entire game. So,
Right.
but I would say better job from him. But other than Josh Allen, man, I'll trash Terrell Bernard pretty bad too. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Um, he had a heck of a game. Heck of a
really
game.
did.
He made plays. And it's not just because he got the interception. I see him, you know, he played more instinctive ball than I've ever seen him play. You know, um, he was just, he did a better job, trusting his eyes, trusting his
Mm-hmm.
instincts, filling the holes, getting off of blocks, beating the block before they even got there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like he was shoulder to shoulder with Matt Milano the entire week. So
Yeah.
he
We
had a.
really.
I'm gonna give him his flowers for that, man. Because
Yeah. We really seen his athleticism, and we actually seen some toughness. We seen that we seen he had some pop in them pads. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
real
the running back they was taking on was no slouch. Brandon Jacobs, the kind of guy you can hit him with all your might. He might go down, but he's not gonna move. You know what
right.
I'm saying? He just has that kind of stature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And they was bringing the lumber to him the whole game.
yeah,
Getting to him before he could even get started good, before he could even think about making the cutback. They were there.
yeah. I agree, brother, and that's a true
Mm-hmm.
statement. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I want to give those guys their flowers, man. Because they deserved it. Everybody that I trashed last week they showed up. Everybody showed up. They showed out. Um, so good job to them, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about the defense. Um, again, it was a collective effort. It was a really really great day for our defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they like I said, that first drive, that's about was it. You know what I'm saying, for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
And they play sound football. Pressures was the name of the game. They got a lot of pressures, but one thing that I need to see them do is a lot more is finish. Like
Mm-hmm.
we got to finish, man. We got to finish. We got to finish. We got to make sure that pressures are. And I know they're getting the ball out faster. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, we got to finish. We got to be a little bit more disruptive um, and finish. You know,
Right. Right.
uh, linebackers played well. I think Ed Oliver, he played very well. As our entire defense played well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I am still concerned with our safety play. Um, it's just I understand that these guys are a little long in the tooth, and know if that hinder us going down the line. I understand, Trey White and Poyer and Hyde, it's their first year playing since 2 years ago. But it look like they got a little age. The age is definitely showing on our safeties. You know what I'm saying? Trey White playing some really really good football.
Oh yeah.
But it's just I think what you said last week. It's their foot speed that I'm concerned about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So other than that, I'm not really concerned about anybody else on our defense. Benford once again playing a good game. He's really really solidifying himself as that number 2 corner. But for the most part, as a whole, our defense played very very well. And I was pleased with that.
Oh yeah. Man, that defense it was aggressive. I heard pass popping the whole game. Had me very excited every time that defense was out on the field. I was on the edge of my seat because I seen the type of tenacity that I've been looking for years now.
Right.
And I'm getting it out of both linebackers, and the way that Bernard collapses in the run game, that's how I prayed for Tremaine Edmonds to be. Tremaine Edmonds would be so slow to the punch sometimes that he gets caught up more by blockers than the smaller linebackers do. I know he's a bigger target to block, but it's like he doesn't have any kind of play strength, from what I was seeing. But the hell with Tremaine Edmonds, what I'm seeing from this linebacker core, and the thing that I love too, I seen a lot more 4-3. I seen a lot more 3 backers out there. In their when the Raiders was in 21 personnel. I love that. I've been begging for that for years too. If you see them come in 21, 13, 22 personnel, bring another linebacker in. Why are you trying to challenge double tight ends or multiple tight ends, 250-pound guys with the 195-pound nickelback? You're going to lose that battle more than you're going to win it. You know what I'm saying? But they made the adjustments. I believe Sean McDermott is not the kind of coach that he's not going to have to hit over the head much before he's going to make a change. It's not going to be the same, thing week in and week out. Where you're trying to make the same adjustments. I like what I seen just overall from the defense. Ed Oliver played his ass off. Ed Oliver lived in the backfield Sunday. Yeah. He did. He lived in the backfield Sunday. The whole defensive line looked good, but Ed Oliver, he lived in the backfield Sunday. I mean, he played with almost like a chip on his shoulder from the first snap.
Yeah.
And I did. I love what I seen from Ed, man.
Yeah. I mean, he did a fantastic job, man. Quick off the ball. I don't know why I keep thinking about it, but ragging on him by his short arms, but he just used his strength, to really, counter a lot of, blocks and take on some blocks. He utilizes his strength as a component.
His strength is in his lower half anyway. Him and
Aaron
Donald might have like the same. When you look, you see 6'1", 280. Then you see 6'1", 287. So you think, okay, they got similar body types. Their bodies are made completely different. Aaron Donald up top is chiseled like he's made out of cement up top. Well, Ed Oliver, his play strength is more of his lower half. So that's it's just a complete difference. Aaron Donald don't have the longest arms. Especially being a 6'1" interior lineman. He just had hell of a skills.
Yeah. So shout out to our Bills, man. Week 2. We're gonna do what next?
We about to get these dogs of the week out. on my offense and my defense. And on my offense, the dog of the week poof, goes to Spencer Brown. Although he had a little help, he was taking on an all-pro and Max Crosby, and he shut him out, man. I mean, I, I was expecting the worst coming into this game. I thought he would get beat more so than he did the first game just because of who he was taking on. I thought even with help, he would have more trouble with Max Crosby than what he actually did. But him having a 0 in that sack column at the end of 4 quarters was enough for me to give him, my dog of the week. And he looked awesome in the run game. The whole offensive line looked awesome in the run game. But my dog of the week on offense, Spencer Brown. And woof, my dog on defense for this week is Terrell Bernard. Man, like I say, I love what I seen from him, his instincts, what I seen in the run game. It was close. It was close between him, Ed Oliver, and Matt Milano, because Matt Milano was out there laying that wood too. But I didn't want to give it to Matt 2 weeks in a row. But like I say, Terrell Bernard, he showed me something. He showed me that he could probably hold his own at that Mike linebacker position. And it was more so instinctively. I wanted to see him be able to be where he needed to be, read his gaps better than what he's been reading his gaps. And then he did that, man. He played a hell of a game. Defensive line kept him clean, and he did what he was supposed to do with it. So yeah, shouts out to my dogs, Spencer Brown and Terrell Bernard. And next week we'll see who them dogs gonna be.
Yeah, man. I was a little surprised about that Spencer Brown one, but he did play a good game. I was expecting someone like James Cook. To be weak, but
James, it was I love what I seen from him, but he had some gaping holes. It was a couple of holes I could have scooted up through there and got at least 4. When he was getting 15, I could have got at least 4. You know what I'm saying? But so I had to give it to somebody along that offensive line because they did a hell of a job, man. They did a hell of a job. Outside a couple of linebacker blitzes that got to Josh, it wasn't the defensive line doing it. It was linebacker blitzes that got there. So yeah, my offensive line, they really showed me something. They're gonna have their hands full Sunday though.
They sure are, man. So let's talk about it. I mean, looking at the film, man, Eric Bieniemy has his offensive going, man. He has his offense going. They're not the Commanders of old. You know what I'm saying? Sam Howell almost looked like, what's his name? Purdy. You know what I'm saying?
Brock Purdy.
With a stronger arm. You know what I'm saying? Like this kid, he can make all the throws. He has a killer instinct. Sam Howell has a killer instinct. And it feels like this offense rallies around him. You know what I'm saying? Offensively, I think the key, to watch is outside of Sam Howell, keeping him in the pocket. We have to make sure that we stay disciplined to our assignments because they do throw a lot of screens. You know what I'm saying? They have a really back in Robinson. They got a solid offensive line. The great skill position players, Dotson, kid that we had at quarterback, and he went over the tight end.
Logan Thomas.
Yeah, Logan Thomas. Good. He's a big red zone presence. Of course, scary Terry. They still got Sam as a receiver, so they got weapons, man. They got weapons offensively. You know what I'm saying? They can run the ball, they can pass the ball, and they can be productive. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Eric Bieniemy has these guys playing. Going on from our defensive, that front four looks scary, man. I think they're tied with the Eagles with the most sacks in 2 weeks.
I think Cowboys.
Is it Cowboys?
Yeah, I think it's them and the Cowboys tied for the lead.
You're right. You're exactly right. So, yeah, so them and the Cowboys, they have 10 or 10.5, one of the two. But yeah, all first round picks. They all starting to mesh real well together.
Yeah.
That the linebackers, they're a little iffy for me in that secondary. It's an upgrade from what they had last year, but they still gonna be a little suspect. The kid, what's his name? Forbes, whatever his name is. He's a really good corner. But I think Stephon, really all of us receivers can have their way with him. I mean, he's a slender guy. He might play stronger than what he really did, what he looks, but from what I've seen, he can be out physical. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But I'm not really scared of their defense. The only highlight for me is their defensive line. Like that defense goes as that D line goes. So if that D line is struggling, guess who's going to struggle? The back end. So, hopefully we can cause that to happen. On both sides of the ball. Defensively. Making sure that that we know where Robinson is. We got again a lot of good skill position receivers out there. To make big plays. You know what I'm saying? Sam Howell can make all the throws.
Yeah.
And he can get out the pocket too. So we don't get that twisted. So we got to make sure that we eliminate the big plays ourselves. And pretty a duplicate of what happened last week.
Yeah.
I don't want them to dictate the tempo of the game. We need to dictate the tempo of the game. If they dictate the tempo of the game, then I just think that our chances to win are slim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, this team is a confident team. From a defensive standpoint, like I said, bottle up Robinson. Make sure that we play tough coverage against these receivers. And just keep getting pressures, man. Sam Howell gonna get his, and the receiver gonna get theirs. Offensively, we have to run the ball.
Yeah.
We have to run the ball. Kind of approach the same similar game plan of what we did last week. So if we do that, we're gonna score some points. I think it can be a lot closer than what people think it is. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, those are things we need to do to win. So what you got?
Yeah, I feel like this defensive front, we have seen them before. All four guys, a couple years ago, we went against this front, held them to 0 sacks. Not saying that's going to happen this week, completely just 2 years ago. Got a lot of the same players from that team that's still on that roster. Gibson, he pretty much killed us when he played us a couple years ago. Still awesome in the pass game for Washington. You got to watch out for him at all times. They actually run wide receiver routes with him. So, they're going to try to get him matched up on, against our linebackers one-on-one. I feel like against young quarterbacks, especially first-year starters, we tend to be pretty successful on defense. I think we'll be able to make Hal, make a couple of mistakes. I think our safeties will be able to disguise some looks and confuse them a little bit. Not saying it'll be the whole game, but I mean, I think they'll be able to apply pressure and in the back end confuse them a little bit to get a pick or two. I believe we'll get two out of them during the game. Offensively, we have to approach this game the same way we approached the game last week. We're gonna have to get the ball out quick. We gonna have to make the offensive line look good. We can't expect the offensive line to look good. We're gonna have to make them look good, and getting the ball out quick and running the football. That's what's gonna do that. We're gonna have to come running early under center. Where we'll be able to disguise a lot of our pass plays under center with play action. That was highly successful. Something else that I've been begging for years. Disguise your pass game with your run game. And I think our receivers can eat. I think it'll be a game again where we're successful up the middle of their defense. Linebackers and safeties up the middle of that defense will be highly successful. I believe we can win our one-on-ones against their linebackers and against their safeties, even the corners. It's not really a worry with their their back seven. I'm not concerned with that at all.
Nope.
But like you say, we're gonna have to hold up against that defensive line, and by doing that, we got to get the ball out quick. Yeah, Josh have to. He don't have to win this game. He don't have to go out and win this game at all. He can let the skill players do it like they done last week. He just got the credit for it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that, brother. Wholeheartedly agree with that. So, got a lot of credit, by the way. But those are all the keys, man. Like, the Commanders they're not a slouch team at all. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? The enemy got a lot of these boys. They said it's the best shape they've been in a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, he had them, running around, being disciplined, and things of that nature. So he has a really, really potent offense, and I'm just curious to see how we look against that. So, my prediction for them. Let me see. So, like I said, I think the hold on, brother. I think the Commanders will play us tough, both sides of the ball. I think that we'll stop long rushing yards. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that we'll completely dominate like we did against the Raiders, but we will make plays offensively and defensively. My score is I got 28-17 Bills.
Okay. I feel you. Our scores they're the same amount distance from each other, but it's not the same score. I feel like early on it'll be close, and I think we'll pull away towards the end, towards the second half. It's when I feel like we'll start disguising a little bit more and will cause Al to make those mistakes that I'm predicting that he'll make. And I think our defensive line to be able to win against their offensive line. I don't think the teams that they took on, the first two teams that they took on, are the caliber of what we bring to the table. Matt Milano has been playing lights out these first two games. I think Brian Robinson is going to have a long game on his hands. He's going to have a long day. He's gonna have a long day. And my score prediction 31 to 20. Yeah, I think 31-20. Like I said, it'll go into halftime pretty close. And I think we'll pull away in the second half. You know, I think we'll see another efficient game from Josh. You know, I really think that first game was, was enough of a bad taste in his mouth to where he's going to take this more seriously than he's ever taken it in his life. And we seen that. We never seen him play a game the way he played it Sunday.
Yeah.
And to play it that way the whole game without getting bored with it. But he's seen the success from it. So hopefully, like I say, going into this week, he'll go in with the same mindset. You know, I let my guys do all the dirty work, and if I need to be Superman, a player too, I'll do that. You know, so yeah, that's my score prediction: 31-20. Bills win in Washington, and yeah, that's that on that.
Cool bean. Well, we're gonna go ahead and go with that, man. You know, that'll be win number 2. Hopefully. At the Dolphins, which I don't know why people are even classifying this Commanders game as a trap game, but they're 2-0 for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Expect another dogfight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
and Eric Bieniemy knows our defense. He takes on it. He played us the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He knows our defense just as good as any of the defenses that he's taken on in the AFC West.
Yep.
You know, so
yeah, man. So, but all right, my G, I'm over here dozing off, man. That Benadryl kicking in.
I can tell you looking like a zombie over there.
Know it. I was over here like
this. For real, bro.
I like, dude, sitting back in that chair. Or was it Chris Tucker? Sitting back in that chair. Dead president.
Oh, yeah, dead president with the needle in his arm. You look like a dog that got a hold to a bee's nest.
Oh,
like you got some deep regrets going on over there.
I'm not rolling around. That kid's going to I vacuum and shampoo that thing.
That's what I'm saying. So just sensitive guy. Can't even lay on the floor in the house no more.
Yeah, call it what you want. I know I will. Yeah. All right, guys, that's our show. You know, thank you for tuning in, man. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, that notification bell. You know, and we got another one coming up after this. But let's cheer on our Bills. We're going for 2 for the season, and we're gonna do it in dominating. We're gonna do it in dominating fashion. That's our goal. So, I'm your boy TG. It's my boy Nature Boy. It's our show, Top Billing. We out of here.
Holla.